For parents with more than one child, it's a question that's often asked but rarely answered in the open. Who would you say is your favorite?
I know you've heard your kids argue, but she got more, but he got more, but he got this, but she got that.
According to a recent study published by the American Psychological Association, birth order, gender, even a child's temperament may determine a parent's preferential treatment.
See? See what?
Alexis seems to think you like me more.
Alexis, don't be ridiculous. It's exactly the kind of paranoia that makes me wary of spending time with you.
Researchers found that on average, younger siblings received favorable treatment to a slight degree.
It doesn't even make any sense! I'm the eldest boy!
But in some cases, the study found parents tend to give older siblings more freedom, which means the less favored siblings could have lower self-worth and problem behaviors. And when it comes to sons and daughters,
I'm his favorite. His favorite what? His favorite child. I'm his little girl. I thought it was obvious.
Girls tend to receive the sweet treatment, with a study finding daughters may be easier to parent. For that same reason, children who are seen as more agreeable and conscientious were also more likely to receive favored status.
But what we also see later on with those kids is sometimes they grow up internalizing the message that love is conditional. So there are other drawbacks to that type of relationship.
The topic of every parent's golden child not lost on social media, with users poking fun at it. But the study finds more serious effects for children not favored by their parent, including struggling with behavior, mental health, academic success, and family relationships, especially among other siblings.
If you feel like your sibling has been favored, that may create some animosity and resentment between you and your sibling. And later on, that can be seen in adult relationships as well.
And that's something we want to avoid, of course. The study's co-author, Alexander Jensen, telling NBC News he hopes that this study prompts parents to have a really honest discussion in their family and to consider their children's feelings. And he also says that parents shouldn't feel guilty if they do find themselves favoring one child over the other, but rather recognize it's happening and be open to improving. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, being honest about it.
That's fair. So, Vicky, what is the advice for parents trying to sort of find that balance?
Here's the thing, Willie, we are human, right? And so we're not robots. It's difficult to make everything equal and exact, but being open to the idea that maybe you are giving more favorable treatment at times to certain children and taking a step back and saying, why is this? You know, what can I do differently? Asking your spouse or your partner, hey, do you notice that I'm really getting into it more with one kid or another or favoring one? Then having a look, really like an honest assessment here. And just keeping the lines of communication open, because it's about treating your kids fairly. You might not be able to treat them equally all the time, but are you being fair?
That's a good distinction.
I think it also depends at different times.
Phases of life.
You know, one's a little more
Easier
favorable than the other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your kids ask you who's the favorite?
No, I mean, I've been thinking about this as we were watching. I love different things about my kids, so never would it cross my mind to say, I like this one better than the other. I love them both in different ways.
Exactly.
So,
And I want them to vie for my love and attention.
Yes, exactly.
You know, really kind of work on
you
it.
keep an active power ranking with your kids.
I do. It's kind of a bracket.
Yeah, just to keep them motivated. Yeah. Right.
Everybody needs a motivator.
Smart.
I'm in a blended family of 6 kids. I'm the only one who hasn't given my parents grandkids. So I think I've fallen in the rankings because of that.
No, absolutely.
Not at all. Al says yes. I knew it. Vicky, we really appreciate it.
Thanks, Vicky.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.